No Horsing Around is the second segment of the 15th episode of the second season of Mickey Mouse Funhouse. And this actually kind of feels a little bit like a Happy Helper story because it's mostly just Minnie and Daisy. And I think it actually works quite well. They're off at the Funhouse Zoo and they're petting the horses and they're getting the horses ready for performing, for competing. And Daisy really just wants to focus on riding the horse, choosing its its hair accessories and things, the fun stuff as she calls it. But Minnie realizes that she also has to do some of the boring things, or things that seem boring, like mucking out, and it's actually all about bonding. And that's not actually something I ever thought of before, but actually at the same time I kind of did. And it made me kind of go on this roller coaster of thoughts because, on the one hand, I never would have considered, tidying the stalls as bonding with the horse. But at the same time, when I clean my cat's litter tray, I feel like that's a bonding thing because her seeing me caring for her and tending to her needs is a way to bond. So actually it made me think about it in a different way, and I really appreciate the episode for doing that. Of course, Daisy has to learn that there is more to petting a horse and looking after a horse than just riding it and helping it to look pretty. You've got to do I guess the manual labor stuff. And I think the episode does a good job of also showing that actually that sort of stuff is not just important, but it doesn't have to be boring and it can bring you closer together to the horse. And of course, this applies to any pet. There might be some pets where maybe not as much. I'm not sure if a hamster would really acknowledge that you're cleaning out their hamster cage. Certainly, most of my hamsters never acknowledged me. But for certain animals where there's a closer connection. I mean, of course, some hamsters and smaller pets can have a strong connection to humans, but there are certain animals that I think are easier to bond with, those that are more likely to connect with their humans, and any child with a pet can really benefit from this. I also feel like the horse angle would just appeal to a lot of young children. I loved horses growing up, and even now, it's been a very long time since I rode a horse, but I still think they're beautiful, beautiful, majestic animals. Very well animated here, of course. I love the animation design of the horses. Daisy's horse was beautiful, and Taffy, I believe it was called. So a very well animated episode. Quite interesting to just be focusing on Minnie and Daisy, but I think it worked quite well. Definitely had a happy helper vibe. They even had a song in it. I know a lot of the Happy Helper segments from Mixed Up Adventures had some songs as well, so it's quite interesting the approach they took with this, but I think it worked really well. Some lovely messages about bonding with animals, the importance of doing tasks, even if they don't necessarily appear fun, and I think it was a nice little narrative as well.